Go.
Hotep, Abaragani, Alafia, this is your brother, the one Faisal. And I don't know where this is gonna pop up at, but we had to grab it because it's an extra special thing. A moment of personal privilege that I'm taking because this brother inspired me when I was a young man to actually want to be an MC. Now, an MC is not a rapper. An MC is a master of ceremony. When I saw this brother on TV for the first time, my whole world changed, right? It wasn't just about him, but it was about the bigger thing he was representing. And I mean, he was the brother that was able to fly from a verb to a noun. And this is none other, ladies and gentlemen, than the one and the only Fab Five Freddy.
Hey, what's happening?
Peace, brethren.
Hey, what's
how you feeling, man?
All good. Nice to be here with you. What's up?
Thank you. Welcome back to Miami after the first Yo MTV Raps episode.
Oh, I've been here many times, but yeah, we did come down here and film back in the days. Yeah, cover my man Luke when it was Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
and the 2 Live Crew. Yeah, no
word up. I would remember there was no rap on television back then.
Nah, not at all.
And so
not nationally. We had a local show in New York, but yeah, nationally that was me. Yeah.
Word.
Yo MTV Raps.
Yes, sir. So Fab, you have the luxury of being alive and watching this culture grow from not even a seed, right, or the beginning of seed to where it is today. But very few know about Fab, the man, and so the father, the man. So you a father, brother?
Yes. I have a daughter. She's 26.
Nice.
Her name is Sparkle, and she's a USC grad. She lives in LA. She works as a model, and she works in film and television.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and in saying that, and what are some of the things that are dear to your heart these days? Where are you pouring your time into now?
Doing all the same stuff, film projects, making art, and recently I have a cannabis business called Be Noble, which is a social equity cannabis brand. I'm partners with a company called Curaleaf that's here in Florida. The product will be available here soon.
Yeah, they got a dispensary down the street.
Yeah, there's quite a few dispensaries in the state. And so we'll be on these shelves in a minute, and the brand raises awareness about the fact that primarily people of color have been disproportionately criminalized for cannabis, especially nonviolent. And it's named after a brother that I featured in the film I made, Grass is Greener. You can see on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's a brother from Louisiana that was given a 13-year sentence for 2 joints worth of cannabis. He served 7 years. I tell his story in the movie, film him walk out of prison, and the brand is named after him. His name is Bernard Noble. We call the brand Be Noble.
Be Noble.
And we're playing off of the Be Noble, be educated, be aware that there's craziness going on with criminalizing people for a harmless plant.
So of course, you just mentioned the documentary.
Yeah.
One of the first things that opened my world to hip hop was that documentary, Style Wars, right? Which then I think I don't think it turned into Wild Style.
No, Style Wars and Wild Style were happening at similar times.
Okay.
Wild Style was being made, and we know the people that made Style Wars, they were both very focused on documenting the culture. Yeah. So we literally came out in that same time back in the early 80s.
That's hot.
Yeah.
And so now
Style Wars is all about graffiti, and Wild Style is about all the elements of hip hop, rapping, DJing, graffiti, and b-boying or breakdance.
So the Paris Olympics are coming up.
Yeah.
2024, right?
Yeah, next Olympics will be in Paris, and breakdancing will be a new competitive sport, I guess, along with gymnastics and a lot of other things that happen at the Summer Olympics. Breakdancing will go down, and it's going to be crazy.
And when you think of that, what you think about when you see something like that, especially coming from the streets, Warhol and Basquiat, and hip hop was like something, we just gonna call it this, and now it's an Olympic sport.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, wow, I mean, I can't think of what you can say except that it's incredible.
Yeah.
And looking forward to seeing it go down. I probably will be in Paris to be a part of that monumentous moment.
Word up.
other cats that have been down with hip hop culture, seen it birthed in the streets of New York, and now it's a global thing, and now it's a sport. Can you believe that?
It's amazing, and you hit it on the head, because it's like, you know, how can you even articulate it? I don't know. That's why I was like, let me ask Fab.
Yeah, some of these things, man, you just gotta feel it.
Yeah.
Ride with it and just be like amazed, I guess. You know?
Word up. And I know you got the ride, man, and thank you for giving us this minute. I want to play a little game, man. You know the game that you used to play. You throw a word at somebody, first thing that comes to their mind. Right?
Okay.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Style.
Wow.
Okay. Hip hop.
Culture.
Basquiat.
My homie. Rest in peace.
Yo MTV Raps.
Well, for those that haven't seen any of it, there's nice chunks of it on YouTube.
Yeah. that's the remix answer, right?
Yeah, YouTube. Baby.
That's right.
That's where I go. And I don't even, there's a lot of the tapes I have on VHS, and I don't even have a VHS player. I'm having them all digitized, but I go on YouTube and search my name and Yo MTV Raps, and people post stuff, and I'll go, oh wow, look at this interview I did. I forgot. Look at this.
That's how.
Like I literally did that a few days ago to send some clips to somebody in Germany from Yo MTV Raps. And so there's ones that come up that are pretty popular. The first times I interviewed Biggie, Tupac, NWA,
right,
you know,
right,
obvious
right,
big
right,
names.
right.
But I'm going through, and there's a show I did where I interviewed like a rap group from New York called the Jungle Brothers, which
come on, man. Baby Bam,
all of
Mike
that.
G, right?
Yeah, nice.
Okay,
Africa. And so I watched the show, but what was kind of sad and also like amazing is their manager in the beginning was a brother by the name of Chris Lighty.
Yes.
Who sadly passed away several years ago. But Chris Lighty started out as a manager with the Jungle Brothers, and then he became one of the biggest managers in hip hop.
Yeah.
In the world of hip hop music, he had many major acts across the board. Busta Rhymes, Missy. I mean, he had A-list.
Yes. LL.
Look, see, you know well. And I totally forgot that when I interviewed the Jungle Brothers, Chris Lighty was like right there. I mean, I'm talking to the group, and Chris is right, and I was like, oh wow, I totally forgot this, because I haven't seen these shows in years since I did it. So that was a special.
You have that clip?
On
YouTube. It's on YouTube?
On YouTube.
I'm gonna find that.
You will find it. You search Fab Pop Freddy, Yo MTV Raps. You'll see this clip, that clip, and you'll see me talking to the Jungle Brothers. And this is a clip, I mean, this was early 90s when I did this, and they were talking about Jim Browski and Jimmy. It's all this old school hip hop stuff. You dig in, you'll see what all that means. And there was this interview that I'd never really seen. And
you know what?
Chris Lighty was there.
You just remind me, that was Straight Out the Jungle, right? Straight Out the Jungle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And then I never put that together with Straight Out the Jungle and Straight Out of Compton. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it reminded me when you was riding on the back of the truck, right? In Compton, with NWA.
Yeah.
And I got your man's jersey on, Ice Cube, the Ice Cube. His lead, the big three, right?
The big three.
And just been following over the years. So you have the luxury, man, and not only seeing these things and being a part of raising it, but also being a part of molding the culture, right? So, you know, you were giving the presentation to the young people, and you went back to the power of film and rebirth of a nation.
Yes.
So while we're getting ready to go out, why don't you break off a little something about the power of film, and to those that are watching, and the power they have in their hand with that phone.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for bringing that up. So part of the reason why I'm here is I gave a master class and a keynote to the young students that are part of Urgent Inc., which is teaching young folks here in the North Miami area, allowing them to get some experience with filmmaking. I wanted to drop some jewels on them. So I talked about one of the first and most influential and very powerful films that was made in 1914 called Birth of a Nation. It's the story of the South told from the point of view of the defeated Confederate Southerners who wanted to keep slavery going, and the North said this has to stop So it was a vicious, bloody civil war where over 600,000 people were killed. And a film, Birth of a Nation, was made that told the story in a very negative light and made black people look really bad.
That's right.
And so that film is influential because a lot of techniques were used for the very first time, very powerful storytelling, filmmaking techniques, but then applied for a very negative reason. So then that inspired a black filmmaker named Oscar Michaud to make movies to counter the negativity of what Birth of a Nation had laid out there. And so for me, it inspires me to be, it inspired me in the beginning to be aware of the fact that there's a power in filmmaking, that when you doing film, you could also, you have a great platform to influence people to do the right thing, to slip some knowledge in. So it's something that we should always be aware of, and it's something that I'm aware of when I'm making films and trying to control that narrative and basically do the right thing with it in terms of being truthful and honest.
Word. And so this weekend here in Miami is what's called Rolling Loud, right? Which is Rolling Loud, which is probably the biggest hip hop thing that's happening, that's moving around the country. And it's a play on the word Rolling Loud, you know what I mean? And whatnot. In the same respect, to the point that you just made, you know, what would you say to especially the young up and coming artists and rappers and those that are, you know, using their artistic expression to move themselves forward? What would you say to them, having the luxury of seeing the history of Chris Lighty and seeing the history of Tupac, but also seeing the history of Ice Cube and living the life yourself, to give them something to help them to make it through the rest of these times while, you know, you still want to be young, you still want to have fun, but in the same respect, everything is yin and yang and got consequences. Let's go out on that one.
Well, that was a pretty big question. I mean, basically, you know, when you have these opportunities and the mic in your hand or the camera in your face, just remember that you have influence. So it's always good to try to drop a jewel, to try to inform, to try to educate in a way so that you can kind of help guide your audience, your people. Try to drop a jewel or two is all I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know
man, plant a seed.
Yeah, plant a seed, baby, and just try to use these opportunities to help somebody to what's really going on out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that's been, you know, dealing with, you know, a lot of negativity in the culture, but it's also good to deal with some positivity and give some information to people, man, so you can help some people do the right thing out here. You know what I mean? If you can keep it in a cool, intelligent way, then we could all win big.
Word up, man. Well, Fab Five Freddy told me everybody fly.
Yes,
thank you so much for giving us
brother.
this time and kicking it with us. Yep. And hopefully we get another time to rock out. In Paris, 2024.
That's
Word
right.
up.
Yes.
We're gonna show this as a documentary in Paris when we link up over there.
That's right.
Word
baby.
up.
Yes, indeed.
Peace.
Peace.
That was nice.